The most impressive Minecraft speedrun ever recorded in the history just came out, but people are discrediting it and saying that it doesn't count, and have divided into two. And honestly, I'm shocked more people aren't talking about it. Lowkey just pulled off what might be the most insane Minecraft speedrun ever recorded in MCSR ranked, clocking in an absolutely mind-blowing 5 minutes and 30 seconds, breaking the previous world record by 17 seconds. But here's where things get messy. Despite this being potentially the greatest display of Minecraft speedrunning skill that we have ever witnessed, a huge portion of the community is refusing to recognize it as the official world record.
Oh, this was done in a private room? So because it's in a not in a match, it doesn't count?
People are actually calling it illegitimate, and Lowkey himself is one of the deniers. The person who just pulled off this incredible run is the first one to say it shouldn't be counted as the official record. Why is one of the best speedrunners in the world catching heat on something that should be his greatest achievement ever? Let's first break down the MCSR ranked format for those of you who might not be familiar with it. MCSR stands for Minecraft Speedrunning Ranked. It's a competitive game mode where you face off against other players in head-to-head speedrunning battles. The system works by pairing you up with players who are around your skill level, and you both start a brand new world at the exact same time with the exact same goal. Kill the Ender Dragon as fast as possible. Whoever does it first wins the match. In MCSR Ranked, you don't just get any random seed like you would in a traditional speedrun. Instead, the game uses something called filtered seeds. Well, in regular Minecraft speedrunning, the kind where people are competing for the absolute world record, you have to reset your game hundreds, sometimes thousands of times to find a seed that's even remotely speedrunnable. You're looking for specific structures in specific locations. The odds of getting a perfect seed in your first try is astronomically low. Honestly, it's one of the biggest barriers to entry for new speedrunners because most people don't have the patience to sit there resetting over and over and over again just hoping to get lucky. One of the most popular filtered seeds in MCSR Ranked is the Ruin Portal seed, which is exactly what Lowkey got in his 5-minute 30-second run. Ruin Portal seed guarantees that you'll spawn near a ruined portal structure, which contains a chest with valuable loot and enough obsidian blocks to build a nether portal without having to mine for diamonds first. This is huge because it cuts out one of the most time-consuming parts of a speedrun. Each seed type has its own strategies and optimal routes, and skilled players need to be able to adapt to whatever seed they get. The key difference here, and this is absolutely critical, is that both players in a ranked match get the exact same seed. So if you get a Ruin Portal seed, your opponent also gets a Ruined Portal seed. It's completely fair, because you're both working with the exact same world and the exact same resources and the exact same opportunities. The only difference is how well you can execute your strategy. Now this brings us to the first major issue with Lowkey's run. His 5-minute 30-second time was achieved on one of these filtered Ruined Portal seeds. Lowkey already holds the actual world record for random seed, glitchless speedrunning in Minecraft. His official world record is already 6 minutes and 50 seconds, which he achieved on a completely random unfiltered seed. That run is recognized by speedrun.com, verified by moderators, and accepted by the entire speedrunning community as the legitimate world record. It's the gold standard. But now Lowkey has this 5-minute 30-second run on a filtered seed, which is a full minute and 20 seconds faster than his official world record. So naturally people are asking, shouldn't this new time be the world record? And the answer, according to basically everyone, including Lowkey himself, is no, it can't be. The first reason is that filtered seeds and random seeds are completely different categories. Can't compare them directly because the playing field is fundamentally different. The filtered seed, you're guaranteed to have certain advantages right from the start. With a random seed, you have none of those guarantees. You could spawn in the middle of the ocean with no land in sight. You could spawn in a desert with no trees or food. The fact that you have to adapt to whatever the game throws at you is what makes random seed speedrunning so impressive. Filtered seeds remove that element of randomness and replace it with a consistency, which makes them great for a competitive play. The second reason, and this is the big one, is that Lowkey's 5-minute 30-second run wasn't even done in an official ranked match, but rather a private match. Private rooms are great for practicing specific strategies, learning new routes, or just playing around with different seed types without the pressure of competition. But because there's no opponent, so no stakes, runs completed in private rooms aren't considered official for world record purposes. The official MCSR ranked world record has to be achieved in an actual ranked match against a real opponent. And this is where the controversy really starts to heat up. Lowkey did this 5-minute 30-second run in a private room. He wasn't under the pressure of competition, and he just happened to pull off an absolutely insane run. Got incredible RNG and executed it almost perfectly, and ended up with a time that's faster than any officially recorded MCSR ranked run ever. But because it was in a private room, it doesn't count toward the official MCSR MCSR ranked leaderboard. The current official MCSR ranked world record is held by a player named Infume with a time of 5 minutes and 47 seconds, achieved in an actual ranked match against a real opponent. Infume's run is 17 seconds slower than Lowkey's run, but it counts as the official record because it was done under official conditions, and this is where people start to disagree. Some people think Lowkey's run should still be recognized in some way because of how incredibly fast and well executed it was. With all that context out of the way, let's actually analyze his disqualified world record. Even if you've watched the run before, there are details you probably missed that make this even more insane than it looks at first glance. The run starts with Lowkey spawning into the world, and immediately he's already making decisions. Ruined portal seeds have insane potential, so he has to lock in even before he's loaded into the world. But before he even thinks about going to that portal, he spots something else. Pigs. There are several pigs wandering around near his spawn point, and this is actually way more important than you might think. In Minecraft speedrunning, food management is absolutely critical. You need food to regenerate health, maintain your hunger bar, and survive the various dangers you'll face throughout the run. And if you kill them while they're on fire, they drop cooked pork chops which restore more hunger and can be eaten immediately without needing a furnace. And the thing with ruined portal seeds is that they have a chance to spawn with a looting 3 gold sword, which is the single most important item in this speedrun. This looting sword is the make or break behind this insane 530 run, and with a looting 3 sword, pigs have a 67% chance to drop 4 cooked pork chops instead of the usual 1 or 2. Lowkey knows this. He understands the math. He knows that with looting 3, he only needs to kill about 3 pigs to get enough food for the entire run. In just a few seconds, he's got 8 cooked pork chops in his inventory. 8. That's enough food to sustain him through the entire nether, through the fortress, through the stronghold, and all the way to the end. And because he got this food early from pigs, his food situation is solved in the first 30 seconds of the run, and that allows him to focus entirely on execution for the rest of the speed run without constantly worrying about starving or hunger resetting, which takes a lot of time out of a run. After getting his food sorted out, then he quickly gathers some wood from a nearby tree to craft his tools and building blocks. His wood collection is efficient and clean. While he's chopping wood, he also does something really clever that a lot of players miss. He organizes his inventory on the fly by using his offhand swap button to move items around. This is a small optimization that saves him from having to open his inventory later and manually organize everything. He's multitasking, chopping wood while simultaneously setting up his inventory for the nether. Once Lowkey has his basic resources gathered, he crafts a boat, builds his nether portal using the obsidian from the ruined portal structure. At this point, he's already moving at an incredible pace. Lowkey enters the nether at an incredibly fast 1 minute and 11 seconds. He also grabs the gold block from the ruined portal, which will come really helpful while he is farming pigs in the bastion. The nether section of Lowkey's run is where things start to get really insane. Lowkey spawns right next to a bastion and doesn't waste a precious second, and immediately starts locating it with the entity count from the F3 screen. Using the F3 screen and looking at the entity count lets him pinpoint the direction of the bastion in mere seconds. And better yet, it's a housing bastion, which is one of the best types for speedrunning. Housing bastions have a predictable layout with easy access to gold blocks and piglins. So he comes from the top and collects the loot from the triple chest, and he managed to secure 7 obsidian blocks right off the get-go. This will help him run immensely, cutting trading time for the pigs to drop obsidian. Lowkey's RNG is incredible, and he is taking full advantage of it. He knows exactly where he's going. He's played this bastion type hundreds or thousands of times, so he can navigate it almost on autopilot. He goes straight for the gold blocks, mines them with his golden pickaxe, and starts heading down to the piglin trading area. On his way down, he grabs some backup blocks from a hidden spot in the bastion structure. These backup blocks are super important because if you run out of blocks while bridging or navigating, you're basically dead. Lowkey knows exactly where these blocks are located and without even having to think about it, which shows you just how much practice and preparation goes into these runs. Once Lowkey reaches the piglin trading area, he drops his gold on the ground for the piglins to pick up and barter with. While he's waiting for the piglins to give him trades, he does some inventory management and crafts a few items. There's a moment here where he accidentally crafts a sword that he doesn't need, because he already has his looting 3 sword from the ruined portal. He immediately realizes his mistake, drops the extra sword, and keeps moving. It's a tiny error, but it shows that even the best speedrunners in the world make small mistakes under pressure. The difference is that great speedrunners recognize their mistakes instantly. The piglin trades come through, and Lowkey gets 17 ender pearls from his bartering session. 17 pearls is more than enough to complete the run comfortably. He also gets more than enough string from the trades to comfortably craft bed to zero cycle the ender dragon. And he picks up some other useful items like fire resistance potions. With his trades complete and his inventory stacked with resources, Lowkey is ready to head to the nether fortress to get blaze rods. While coming down the bastion, he spots the fortress, which is right next to the bastion. This is the luxury of a filtered seed, so Lowkey bridges towards the fortress and throws an ender pearl and does a pearl hang. A pearl hang allows him to save time by unloading your chunks so that the ender pearl is unloaded, and he can get the rest of the trading items, and then load the pearl by increasing the render distance, saving a lot of precious time. He throws an ender pearl and lands directly at a nether fortress. This fortress has a blaze spawner that's easily accessible and in a great position for farming blazes quickly. This is the kind of RNG that speedrunners dream about, but RNG is only part of the equation. You also have to be able to capitalize on good luck, and Lowkey absolutely does. He rushes to the blaze spawner and starts setting up to farm blazes. Because he has a looting 3 sword, he doesn't need to kill as many blazes as a normal speedrunner would. Looting 3 dramatically increases the drop rate of blaze rods, which means he can get out of the fortress way faster than someone with a regular sword. With the fire resistance potion he got from the piglin, helps him not take fire damage from the blaze, making him almost invincible. He pre-crafts his Eyes of Ender while waiting for the blaze to spawn, which means he's multitasking and not wasting any time standing around. And then, the most insane thing happens. Lowkey kills 4 blazes and gets 9 blaze rods. 9. You need 7 blaze rods to complete a speedrun comfortably. Lowkey got 9 from only 4 blazes. That's an average of over 2 rods per blaze, which is absolutely nuts, even with looting 3. This is the kind of luck that happens maybe once in 1,000 runs, and Lowkey got it on a run where everything else was also going perfectly. The RNG gods were smiling on him, and he took full advantage. With 9 blaze rods in his inventory, Lowkey doesn't even bother farming more blazes. He immediately crafts his Eyes of Ender, organizes his inventory, and starts preparing to leave the nether. Lowkey builds his return portal and heads back to the overworld. His nether time at this point is absurdly fast. He got into the bastion quickly, got great piglin trades, found a fortress immediately, farmed blazes with incredible efficiency, and got out in under 4 minutes. For reference, most speedrunners spend 5 to 7 minutes in the nether, so Lowkey is already a full minute or more ahead of pace compared to a typical good run. This is where you start to realize just how special this run is. Everything is clicking. The RNG is good, the execution is clean, and the pace is blistering. Once Lowkey is back in the overworld, he quickly throws an ender pearl to locate the stronghold using the highly controversial ninja bot, which does some insane mathematics to pinpoint the exact location of the ender portal. He has so many Eyes of Ender to spare that he doesn't even bother collecting the one he just throws. After he has the cords of the stronghold, he quickly pops back into the nether to get to the stronghold. Because every 8 blocks in the overworld is 1 block in the nether, meaning you can fast travel and teleport to that location in mere minutes. After Lowkey gets the cords, he makes another nether portal from the obsidian. He got from the piglin trades and spawns right at the starter staircase of the stronghold. This is one of the most controversial methods in the Minecraft speedrunning community, so if you want to know more about it, then go watch this video. He spawns directly into the starter staircase. From the starter staircase, he used the pie chart again to locate the silverfish spawner to pinpoint the location of the end portal room. At this point, Lowkey is on world record pace. Everything has gone right. His execution has been nearly flawless, and he's moving faster than almost anyone has ever moved in a Minecraft speedrun. But the run isn't over yet. He still has to activate the end portal and kill the ender dragon. Lowkey places his Eyes of Ender into the end portal frame blocks to activate the portal. He spawns on the end island and immediately starts executing a strategy called a zero cycle. A zero cycle is an even more advanced way to kill the ender dragon without you even having to wait for it to perch on the bedrock. The zero cycle is one of the most advanced mechanics speedrunners use to get the fastest time. You have to predict which tower and what direction the ender dragon's flying towards, and Lowkey, being the best of the best, instantly knows where to go and run his zero cycle. But here Lowkey almost choked his world record run. He ender pearls onto the tower in an attempt to block clutch, but he misses a bunch of soul sand block and takes an insane amount of damage. But luckily he was able to spam fast enough while holding down the W and S keys to land on the block. Lowkey was mere inches away from losing this world record run. Lowkey reaches Y 195 and starts spam placing blocks to create a platform. His block placement is incredibly fast and precise. Lowkey runs the typical zero cycle in placing beds and respawn anchors and kills the dragon, but he takes a whole bunch of damage from the exploding beds. Once again, the pigs from the beginning of the run are clutch. Without that food, he would have died, but with it, he's able to tank the dragon's damage. He uses the crossbow, which he got from the piglin trades, to stop the dragon and does double damage with a double bed, and he kills the ender dragon in less than 30 seconds, then teleports to the end portal and blocks himself in so that no enderman can kill him. And the timer stops. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Lowkey just completed one of the fastest Minecraft speedruns ever recorded. So now we come to the big question that everyone's been asking. Should this run count as the official world record? And this is where things get complicated and where the community is split. On one hand, you have people arguing that yes, obviously this should count because it's the fastest time ever recorded in MCSR ranked. Lowkey executed at an incredibly high level, got good RNG, and put together a nearly flawless run. The fact that it was done in a private room shouldn't matter, because the seed was the same type of filtered seed used in official matches. The game mechanics were identical, and Lowkey wasn't cheating or using any exploits. So if Lowkey can pull off a 530 in a practice environment, imagine what he could do in an actual match with stakes and an opponent pushing him. On the other hand, you have people arguing that no, this absolutely should not count because the whole point of MCSR ranked records is that they have to be achieved in official matches. The competitive pressure of racing against another player is part of what makes MCSR ranked special and different from regular speedrunning. Anyone can grind private room runs for hours or days until they get lucky with RNG and execute well, but pulling off a record-breaking time while simultaneously outpacing a skilled opponent is a different level of difficulty. The mental pressure, the split-second decisions, the need to adapt to your opponent's pace, all of these factors make official matches harder than private room runs. So even though Lowkey's 530 is impressive, it technically doesn't count like Infume's 547, because Feinberg did it under official conditions. And then you have Lowkey himself, who has made it very clear that he doesn't consider his 530 to be the official ranked world record. Lowkey is extremely knowledgeable about speedrunning rules and competitive integrity, and he understands that private room runs don't count for official rankings. And honestly, I have a ton of respect for Lowkey for taking that stance. But instead, he's being honest and upfront about the fact that it was a private room run and acknowledging that the official record still belongs to Feinberg. But here's where my personal opinion comes in, and I want to be really clear that this is just my take and not some objective truth. I think both sides of this argument have valid points, and I don't think there's a clear right or wrong answer. Yes, private room runs shouldn't count for official MCSR ranked world records because the competitive aspect is part of what defines the category. But I also think that Lowkey's 530 deserves recognition in some capacity because it's an absolutely incredible achievement that demonstrates the highest level of Minecraft speedrunning skill. And speaking of incredible runs that deserve recognition, I need to talk about something that's been flying under the radar while everyone's been focused on Lowkey's 530. There's another player out there who's been putting up some absolutely absurd times lately, and honestly, this player might be even more talented than Lowkey. I know that sounds crazy because Lowkey is one of the goats of Minecraft speedrunning, but hear me out. This player recently came within seconds of breaking the random seed glitchless world record, which is arguably the most prestigious record in all of Minecraft speedrunning. We're talking about a run that was so close to perfection that it's almost unbelievable. The execution was flawless, the RNG was incredible, and the pace was absolutely blistering from start to finish. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets really interesting. There's a twist to this story that completely changes how you view this player's run. So if you want to watch how Skycrab lost the world record by half a heart, then watch the end screen video. But back to Lowkey's run for a moment because I want to hear from you guys. Do you think his 5-minute to 30-second time should count as the official MCSR ranked world record even though it was done in a private room? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I'm genuinely curious to see how the community feels about this. If you enjoyed this analysis of Lowkey's 530 and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing as I put a lot of effort into this video and it would really help me out. Anyways, thanks for watching and go watch this video.